The music inaudible.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, we are in the 10th episode of the product management series, and we are going to talk about something interesting today. So, we are going to talk about product market fit today. So, that's what it's going to be all about. So, we are going to see how, as an entrepreneur, you build your product towards product market fit. So, it's a buzzword all around, right? So, we are going to see what it is all about. So, how do you actually measure the product market fit? And not just that, is product market fit something which you have to really target as an entrepreneur? So we will answer all these questions today. So while we go about doing that, so if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, or anything you have in mind, just leave it down in the chat, and we will be answering them in there. So I have a few links for to share with you today, and I'll be walking you all through all of that. But to start with, if you see why product market fit is really important as an entrepreneur, as a founder, so the important factor you have to see as an entrepreneur or founder is that you build a product, but you have to see if the product which you are building has a potential customer who is really willing to use. Are you really solving the right problem? So, and do you have people who want that problem solved? So these are some questions which you have to answer as an entrepreneur or founder, because unless you answer all of these, you are going to build a product for no one, and you are not going to earn any revenue as well. So ultimately, you are just building a product for utopia, as they call it. So that's why product market fit is really important, because it's not just about building a product. It's about building the product which customers really want, and building the product which really scales over time, and has or offers the value proposition which people are looking for. So these are some things which you have to see, or take into account when you are building products. So that's what is product market fit is all about. So yeah, let's quickly jump on to some of the links which I have. So let me quickly show you my screen. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen. So I have few references which I'm going to walk you through today, all of them taken from different websites, so that we don't get into a biased opinion of what product market fit is all about. So let's quickly dive into few of them. So let's see product plan first. So let's say, okay, so here we go. So they say product market fit describes a scenario in which companies' target customers are buying, using, and telling others about company's product in numbers large enough to sustain the product's growth and profitability. I mean, ultimately, I don't want to get into the theory of product market fit, because that you can learn from anywhere. So ultimately, what they mean to say is that you are building a product, and customers are going to be marketing your product by themselves. So that's how your product should be. Your product should deliver right value or amazing value to the customers, that you don't have to go about selling that to each and every individual or a business. So rather, the product markets itself for what it has to offer. So that's something which you have to really see when you are building a product, because that's when you attain the growth. So that's something which you have to really take into account. And if you see this diagram, this is the gap between product market fit. You have the target customer whom you are addressing, and they have underserved needs. So they have some needs which are not being served by anyone else in the market, or not served right for their use case, whatever it might be. So you have some problem at hand for the respective customer, target customer, and you go about solving the problem. They like it, and that's when they start promoting your product, and that's when you see the growth trajectory, and that's when you actually see the product market fit. So while we talk about product market fit and everything, so to be honest, that's not the only thing which startups really need. So that is just a starting point, to be honest. So in fact, I wouldn't call that a starting point. I mean, starting point towards growth. But if you see, most of the startups, they attain product market fit, but then the problem is that they die down soon enough, because they are not sustaining as new competition comes by, or they are not building a business model around it, or they are not build a right business model around it, or they are not building, let's say, the right channel to deliver the products to. So for instance, if you are just making a product really amazing, that's fine. But if you are not able to build a good business model around it, then yes, your product will see growth, but ultimately you won't be able to scale up your team, scale up your business to such a way that you can address the growth. So you must be able to build a proper business model around your product. So all of that is also important. Product market fit is the first step you should aim towards, because that's when you actually deliver value to customers. I mean, that's when you actually deliver value to users. So that is really important. And then you have value proposition, feature set, and UX and everything, which you have to focus on. So, and if you see who is responsible for product market fit, the fact is that it's not the role of just the CEO or founder or CTO or any business leader or product manager. Rather, the entire organization or the entire business is responsible for attaining the product market fit, because, you are having a vision for the product. You are just a founder, let's say, having a vision for the product. But ultimately, you have to align your entire team towards the vision, align your entire team in such a way that they are working towards product market fit. So it's not just that you are responsible. You have to make sure that you measure product market fit at regular intervals. You see all the milestones to be done, to attain or to go towards a journey on product market fit. But that's not just the only thing which that's not only your responsibility. I mean, you have to get your entire team on board for product market fit, meaning sales, business, marketing, development, design, so whoever it may be. So you have to say, you have to define, okay, this is the customer we are addressing, and this is the growth we aim to attain, and this is the kind of product we are looking for. And you have to regularly deliver and measure your growth or success or potential along the way, because that's when you actually have some metrics to go by. You don't have to just sell the product and assume that it's all working. So now, talking about how a product market fit is measured. So now you have you are delivering the product, they are using it, that's fine. But then you have to see if whatever product you are delivering is actually the right fit for the market. Because unless it is the right fit, you won't know it, right? I mean, how would you even know whether the product you are delivering is the right fit or not? That's why you have to actually measure your growth, measure what you are doing. So because you are delivering the product, okay, yes, you are doing an amazing job of delivering a product to the market. But then ultimately you have to see if customers really want that product. So how would you even get to know that? You go about asking surveys, you go about asking the right questions to the right customers at the right time. So not just that, you go about asking them, okay, what don't you like in this product? Also, what is the critical problem you have which you want us to solve? So what would you want to pay for? So I mean, what is the burning problem which you would want to pay for to get it solved? So you need to ask some kind of questions like these to get the right answers from the customers. Put it all in your analytics software or whatever, and then analyze it to measure. Have you actually attained product market fit? If not, when will you attain, and what are the things which are needed to be done to attain product market fit? All of these can be measured only if you have set the right milestones, if you have set the right goals and everything. So now, talking about how do you achieve the right fit for the product. So you have to say, as I said, so you have to determine your target customer, you have to find the underserved needs of the customer, define your value proposition. You need to say what you have to offer which others cannot offer. You need to see what you have, what you can offer as a product or as a business, which is really to serve the burning problem of the customer. So that's something which you have to define. What is your value proposition? What are you offering? And you have to see what is going to be a minimum viable product, because you have to repeatedly iterate and be in the process of iterating till you have actually attained or got your minimum viable product out of the product market fit. What I mean is, so try to stick to minimum viable product as much as possible till you have attained product market fit, because you don't know what you want to build, you don't know when you want to build, who you are going to serve. You are not going to know that unless you ask the right questions to the right people, as I told you. So you need to be as agile as possible, because you are going to deliver features fast, you are going to measure feedback fast, and you are going to keep your product in the MVP stage as long as possible, because you want to have that kind of flexibility, that high agility to go with, because If you go about building a huge product, building a huge roadmap and everything, and ultimately you see that your product market fit is not attained, then it's a huge loss of productivity, because you are building for something or someone who is not the right fit for you. So that's something which you want to avoid, because you need to build the product for the right customers, and then test your MVP with the customer. So this is what they have to say here. Product market fit was coined by Mark Andreessen. He is, I guess, the founder of Andrei Hodzovich. How do you pronounce it? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Hodzovich. So, okay, let me just type Mark Andreessen, then probably we will get wrong. Yeah, Andreessen. So he is the CEO of he was the founder of Netscape. He was the author of Mosaic, and co-founder of Silicon Valley VC firm Andreessen Horowitz. Yeah, come on, my Indian accent is killing me. So if you see here, they have amazing portfolio. So you have a lot of exits from this venture capital firm, and you have an active portfolio as well. So he is pretty experienced in VC investing. So whatever he says is out of complete experience, as you see. Okay. Now, as I told you, the entire team is going to be responsible for product market fit, and that's really important to make sure, because if let's say you are a founder and you are running towards product market fit, but your team is not aligned to your vision, then it's not going to happen, because that's something which you have to inculcate in your entire team. So don't take anything in your roadmap which doesn't align with the needs of the customer or doesn't solve the real problems of the customer, at least in the initial periods of time, because as I told you, you need to be as quick as possible in attaining product market fit. It may take 1 year, it may be 3 months, 4 months, but you need to make sure that you have a growth trajectory. That's something which is really important. Okay, let's quickly pick up the next blog as well. The another one is from Forbes. So Forbes also talk about product market fit here. They have a lot of ads. That's what I hate about Forbes. So the content which they produce is good, but they have a lot of ads around it. So left, right, top, bottom, center, and you have a lot of pop-ups as well. So okay, so first point is determine your target customer. So of course you need to see who your right customer is. You need to find the underserved customer needs, as we talked about. Define your value proposition. What do you have to offer which others don't have to offer? How do you differentiate yourself from other people in the market? So what do you have to offer to them which they cannot get anywhere else, which they really need? So specify your minimum viable product feature set, because that's something which you are going to work on till you attain product market fit. So create your minimum viable prototype. Of course, you have to work on the prototype to get it live to customers, to gather feedback, and test your minimum viable product customers. I mean, it need not be minimum viable product; it can be minimum lovable product as well, as we discussed about in previous sessions. So you need to see the minimum version of product which you can ship, which will greatly differentiate your product from the other products. So that's something which you need to see. Okay, so as simple as this. So all you have to do is focus on the product at hand and get it done properly. So and then we have the same VC form which we talked about, also defining product market fit and product user fit. So they say that it's not just product market fit matters, it's also product user fit, which means that what they try to say is, you might build a product for a respective market, but not every user in the respective market is the same. So you don't have a homogeneous market, right? You have people with different backgrounds, experiences. You have people, with different needs, different problems. So you might want to build a product which can address the needs of respective users. I mean, let's say you have 1,000 users. If you are able to address at least the needs of 400 to 600 users, you are at least going in the direction of product market fit, because you are not just building a product for no one. You know that okay, these 400 or 500 users which I am targeting have real problems. Now these are the problems they have, and this is what I am going to do to solve these problems. So I basically define what is product user fit going to be, to basically make my product as compelling as possible to all the users. So yeah, that's what they talk about. They talk about durable retention, that proves users are here to stay. So you need to see whether the product which you are building, is going to be, what do you say, is going to make the users come back again and again to it. So you need to give the traction to your product. You need to make sure that the users will actually want to, see your product at least once every day. So that's something which you want to look at. How do you, keep your users on your platform as much as possible? If you see Facebook, LinkedIn, I mean, they are not doing the right thing. They are destroying your productivity, but ultimately they are making you come back again and again to your platform. The Instagram, you have Twitter, you have YouTube. So all of these platforms have some sort of feedback mechanism, which which retains people. They crossed product market fit long time back, a lot of years back, but still they make you come back every day back to the platform, have a look at it at least once. That's something which is really important, because you need to stay in constant touch with the users without destroying their productivity, of course. They deliver you good content, notifications, they give you news digests, they give you all sorts of what do you say, feedback mechanism to make you come back to the platform. So then you have engagement depth, that maps to the natural user behavior. So the user is behaving in such and such way, and you have engagement, you have engagement depth, right? So you need to see, okay, what are the metrics I am actually designing for, and what is the engagement level which I am looking for, and how is this user behavior, and I need to define a product such a way that I map all the, what do you say, uh, all the product functionalities to the user behavior. User testimony, that evangelizes the value, of course. So you need to get the feedback from users, take the testimony from businesses, and you need to make sure that you use that testimony, and you derive as much value as possible. I mean, let's say that an influencer is actually using a product, and he or she says that the product is amazing, I would recommend it to a lot of people, and it has solved so and so problem for me. Then ultimately your product is going to see quick growth, because people trust those kind of influencers, and you need to make sure that you also target such kind of people, and target solving the problems which they have, so that that's something, that's a problem which not just they have. I mean, there are a lot of people who might have the same problem, and you are solving for that. So that's something which this blog has defined, and let's go to the next blog as well. So I hope whatever I said is making some sense. Let me know if it is not. So probably we'll address all your questions. But yeah, how Superhuman built an engine to find product market fit. In this blog, he talks about how he analyzed, how the framework he uses to analyze product market fit, what questions he asks, what statistics he measures to analyze product market fit. So that's something which you can find in this blog here. So for instance, he asked a survey to all the customers like this: how would you feel if you could no longer use Superhuman? Very disappointed, somewhat disappointed, not disappointed. Which means that you are asking the customers if this product, indirectly, if the product is actually delivering value to them, if it is something which they really want to have. So that's something which you ask in this question. What type of people do you think would benefit most from Superhuman? Here what you are seeing is you are trying to find the roles of people who would want to use it. Is it a product manager? Is it going to be a developer? Is it going to be an entrepreneur? So you are going to see what are the kinds of people who actually benefit from the product, because you might want to target the right audience. So that's something which you want to see. What is the main benefit you receive from Superhuman? Here he's asking about the positives. So because you want to capitalize on your positives, and you want to correct your negatives. That's something which you want to do. So this is about capitalizing the positives, and this is about improving the negatives. How can we improve Superhuman for you? Which means that he's asking all the negatives in Superhuman, and how they can address it. So that's something which so these 4 questions are something which is really important, because that's when you will know if your product has actually attained product market fit, is a user expecting something else from the product, or let's say is there any way in which you can actually address the respective target audience. So that's something which you can measure, and you can find the metric surveys and analyze it according to what they say. So you can plot multiple charts, so charts and everything, that's fine. I mean, choose whatever you want, that's not a big deal. So again, they talk about the assigned persona for everyone. So, and then they analyze impact of segmentation. He talks about how does he measure by asking all these questions, what kinds of questions he asks, how does he plot all these data in graph, and how does he use the data to basically measure all of these. So you need to have some sort of framework like this for you, so that you can actually say, okay, these are the questions I am going to ask the customer, and this is the kind of answer they are giving me, and I am going to use these answers to drive some actionable insights for my product. So that's something which you need to see as a entrepreneur. So this is what he says here. So we will move on to the next blog as well. So let's quickly see what YC has to say. Like YC is a really popular, what do you say, accelerator or incubator. You can actually see a lot of big startups coming out of YC. And in fact, I can't talk about all of these, but ultimately, they have a lot of videos about pre-product market fit. So in fact, I will link this blog in the GitHub repository. They have a lot of people from different backgrounds, different organizations talking about pre-product market fit. I will actually link this blog. But ultimately, what YC says this: make something which people really want, ship as fast as possible. That's that's the tagline. Make something which people really want. What they mean by that is, address real needs. So don't go about being hypothetical, don't define your own problem statements, don't say that, okay, this is the problem which I assume people will have. Rather, it is better that you say, okay, this is the person I am targeting and they have all of these problems, and this is what I am going to do to address them. And once I address it, and this is something which I am selling to them for this much price, and this is the feedback I received from them, I built on this feedback, this is my roadmap. So that's how you build about the product, right? So, and this is the team I'm going to build to address the needs, and this is how I'm going to scale, this is how I'm going to attain product market fit. So you need to answer all of these questions when you are building a successful product. So all of these questions are something which you really need to answer. So let's have a look at this is something which is again really interesting, because this blog talks about not just product market fit but the other parts of it as well. So if you see this blog, they talk about 4 different types of it. One is the product market fit, another one is the product channel fit, another one is the channel model fit, another one is the model market fit. So as a startup, as a business, you need to attain all of these 4 fits to basically make sure that you not only just grow towards your product market fit, that's just your starting of the journey, right? But also thrive even after that. So what happens after you have attained product market fit? That's a question you might have, right? So that's answered by following all these 4 models. So then you have to go about capitalizing your market, addressing the what do you say, competition which comes up. You need to keep innovating to make sure that you don't stagnate somewhere. You need to make sure that you what do you say, build out on your positives, and then improve on your negatives, as we told you. So all of these are some things which you need to basically define, and you also need to see what channel are you selling it to. So for instance, when we talk about the channel fit, product channel fit, am I selling my product through the right channel? So like, am I basically publishing my product, or am I building the product for the right channel? For instance, let's say I build my product for as a Android app. So am I delivering a good app experience? So Android app will be my channel. So if I take, let's say, website, so am I building the right website? So if I take, let's say, desktop app, am I delivering the right desktop app experience? So your product has to be built depending on the channel. It's not the other way around. I mean, you don't build your product and then decide the channel, but rather you think about all the channels which you are going to publish it to, and then build your product according to the channel where you're going to sell it to. So, and what kinds of channels are you going to use to sell? So like, for instance, what kind of marketing channels am I going to use, what kind of sales channels am I going to use. So all of these are some things which you need to actually define. So let me know if अभी audio होता पर. So I hope I am audible, but anyways. So you need to define what channel you are selling to, and you basically need to make sure that your product, so your product is actually good. So for the respective channel you are selling it to, and then you need to have a right model in place. So you have a business model around which you are actually selling your product. So for instance, you basically build the product, you sell it to the channel, and then you have to build a business model around it in such a way that it can thrive depending on the channel you are selling to. Like for instance, you have to also see how do I generate revenue around it, how do I scale it to different markets. So how do I make sure that I bring in new team members, new investors, how do I onboard new customers. So what is the framework which I have in place, what are the processes, how am I going to take care of security issues, privacy laws, governance, data localization laws. You need to have a look at all of these when you are deciding the business model, because your business model will drastically vary depending on all of these factors. And then you have the market as well. So this is where we talked about product market fit. So you need to define your audience, you need to define your market, and make sure that product adapts to the right market. So all these four factors are equally important if you want not just to grow but also to thrive even after product market fit. So you can, I will link this blog, you can read about all of these fits individually, and he also talks about how four of these work together. He has a video series around it. So I will link this blog as well in the GitHub repository. So I hope today's session was informative. So we will have more of these coming. So let me know if we didn't do something right. Let us know the feedback. Tag at at the rate time campus, hashtag time campus, or whatever, however you want to reach us. So just reach us, reach out to us and let us know how we are doing, and how we can do better. We can only build ourselves if we have the right feedback from you. So that's something which we really need. So tomorrow we will join you again in the red carpet. Tomorrow we will be joined by Mr. Avin Jain. We will be having a discussion. We will be having an interview session with him on machine learning, artificial intelligence, and about everything around machine learning and AI. So at 9 p.m. IST. So make sure that you attend that as well. So it's going to be really nice. He has a huge amount of experience. He's a founder and CEO of BDB. So make sure that you attend that as well. So we will see you tomorrow. Bye bye. See you. Right? He has a huge amount of experience. He's a founder and CEO of BDB. So make sure that you attend that.